From the womb to the tomb, we have been exposed to communications. Studies show that infants begin learning communication aspects from as early as inside of the mommy's tummy. They are exposed to language and tone before taking their first breath. Even before learning how to eat and walk, they are learning how to communicate. A baby cries not because they want to annoy you, but because they are trying to communicate. I'm hungry, I'm sleepy, I'm bored, I'm in pain, I'm uncomfortable. Crying is the first method of communication, and many experienced parents will be able to distinguish different baby cries for the different needs. People who have grown up in isolation with no exposure to human contact, studies shows that they still find a means of communication even if it's not with another human. Animals communicate with each other. God communicates with us. Communications is what connects the entire universe. There are 3 aspects of communication: words, tone, and body language. And where and how we grew up influences each of these aspects, whether it is our language, our dialect, or our word choice, our emphasis on tone, or what certain gestures can mean. When babies start learning how to speak, they begin experimenting with different sounds. Ba 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 ba, gu 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 gu, ma ma ma. Oh my gosh, she said mama. Our positive reaction of the sound reinforces the baby to repeat the sound and later assign the sound. When I say mama, mommy comes. When I say dada, daddy comes. Basically, words are assigned sounds that represent something. A baby or a toddler might try different sounds and test out your reaction. If you speak Hebrew or Arabic and a toddler makes a sound, you might be rejoicing, reinforcing that sound in the child so that they will repeat it. A Western speaker might think, my child has a sore throat. This is why when learning a new language as an adult, it's much harder because some sounds are non-existent or not trained, or we don't use them enough in our native languages. Now, words are tricky. Words are subjective. When I say red, for example, there's no way of knowing if red means the same thing in your head as red means in my head when someone says red. What I mean to say is, when you say a word, it may mean something different to the listener. For example, there's an English learner I once worked with who constantly said the word actually. She would say actually before she responded to anything you said. Actually, yes. Actually, it was like this. Actually, it was very difficult. Now, for a fluent English speaker like myself, it was very annoying. And for my non-English speakers who don't understand, when someone says the word actually, when responding to something, it's like saying you're wrong. So every time I said anything, it was like she would say, you're wrong. It was like this. And I had to keep reminding myself that she didn't really understand the word actually. She didn't understand what she was saying, which she thought was a word of agreement, like saying really. She was actually saying a word of disagreement. Sometimes both people can be using the same word, but it can mean different things for each person. Every person, even from the same language, can perceive and associate or associate a word with a specific meaning. For example, when we first met, Terrence would use this word, I'm not even sure how to pronounce, perspire. Oh, he would use it all the time. I thought he was describing to me symptoms of an illness. For me, perspire is used for a medical context. And for Terrence, perspire was just another way to say sweat. Something else to keep in mind is that words also don't translate precisely into other languages. This is incredibly important to keep in mind when we are working with cross-cultural people. For example, when I was learning Terrence's language, it was hard to understand because some words they don't exist in English or in Spanish. For example, this word, grabe. Grabe means something like overdoing it. Like someone is complimenting you too much, or there's just this horrible car accident. Grabe means it's like it's gone beyond the line of okay. Grabe, gitna ah. Or in Chinese, guanxi. Guanxi means to have a connection with someone, and it provides you with certain benefits. There's no single English word for guanxi.